Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Look, it gives me no pride, and I do it with a great deal of sadness, to resign as the Shadow Minister for Transport from the New South Wales Labor frontbench. I don't think I've got any choice in the matter. A dossier was distributed by the Deputy Leader's office yesterday morning, and I've received no explanation or answer from the Leader or the Deputy Leader since. And in light of that, I think my position as a Shadow Minister for Transport and Corrections is completely untenable, and I'll be resigning immediately. Happy to take your questions.
Do you now launch a leadership challenge?
Look, I've got no plans to do that. I need to speak to my colleagues over the coming days about the best way forward for the New South Wales Labor Party, how we mount a credible challenge against the government, what we believe in, and do we have answers to the problems and the challenges facing working people in this state.
What do you think those challenges facing working people are?
I think the Labor Party over the last 2 years has been too negative. I don't think negative politics works. I think we need answers. I think there's a real space for the New South Wales Labor Party and social democratic parties around the world to come up with the answers to the problems facing working families and working people. And I think if you play negative politics against the government, it's not working. And negative politics against our own side is not working either.
There's been a lot of talk about Labor voters not believing what you're saying, or voters generally not believing what you're saying. How do you combat that, and what's the answer?
I think we have to be authentic. I mean, I speak to a lot of people in the electorate of Cogra every single day, and none of them tell me, look, I can't wait to read your next press release criticising the New South Wales government. They want us to stand up and say, here's our alternative. And even those people that are wedded onto the New South Wales and Liberals and Nationals, they want a contest. They want a contest from Labor, and they want some positive plans and solutions to what I think are the real challenges facing New South Wales.
Were you doing the numbers, Chris?
Support of her colleagues. Do you agree? Do you think that she has the backing?
Well, look, I don't know. I need to speak to my colleagues over the coming few days about the direction of New South Wales Labor. Obviously, I haven't done that. I've been a member of the Shadow Cabinet. I'll be going to the backbench to fight for my community and fight for Labor. Look, I believe in the New South Wales Labor Party. My wife and I joined it 20 years ago. We want it to succeed. We want it to be viable. And I'm convinced that the people of this state want a competition between the coalition, the government and the opposition. And I don't think the opposition... Look, I think this is an important point. I don't think the opposition's job is to oppose everything. I think it's to offer solutions to the challenges facing the state.
This staffer in question has been given the past. She has been tackled.
I'm not making any comment or claim about that. I mean, we're all responsible for our staff. As I said, I haven't been given any explanation or answer for the dirt dossier that was distributed. And I'll make the point, this kind of negative politics isn't working against the government. Why would it work against our own side?
You say you need to speak to your colleagues. Have you been doing the numbers, or did this dirt file, was it released, do you feel, as a preemptive strike? Was there a reason, do you believe, this was leaked?
Look, I'm not a mind reader. I've got no idea. I genuinely don't know, and I haven't spoken to my colleagues about it at all.
But they obviously felt you were a threat. Did you give them reason in the past week for them to feel you were a threat, besides the fact that you were...
Certainly not. I mean, you would have seen me on radio, on television. This is a very difficult environment for the New South Wales Labor Party. And I appreciate that. I understand that these things are challenging, but our job is to find solutions to the problems facing New South Wales, not turn on each other, and certainly not create dirt files about our own colleagues.
Did you call Jodi and ask for an explanation, or were you expecting her to call you?
I mean, at the end of the day, if the dossier is about me and she's the leader of the Labor Party, I would have thought she'd make contact with me.
And so what do you think that says about her
I can't
leadership?
answer that, Liz. I don't know.
Have you spoken to her this morning about your resignation?
No, I haven't. I've sent a letter off to her and to her staff explaining that's the situation.
Is it characteristic of...
I've got no idea. I haven't spoken to them about it.
Is it characteristic of Jodi's leadership to have not called you or not reached out to you?
No, look, I don't want to cast aspersions about people's character at all. I mean, my message today is I think we need to be more optimistic and more positive about politics and the way we approach politics and what we say to the people in New South Wales, not turn on each other and certainly not attack each other in this sort of negative way.
So moving forward, the way that it is, though, you say the party is attacking each other and is Labor imploding in the state?
Well, look, it is what it is. I mean, I'm here today to tell you I can't serve in the Shadow Cabinet. I think that speaks for itself.